back. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis, Sports Take. Hey, let's hit the like button if we could, friends. We would really appreciate that if you could do that. All right, so a couple odds and ends here, Derek. As I mentioned, 4 p.m. is the NFL trade deadline. We saw a couple biggies yesterday, which we'll get into later. You know, I would say the biggest one, correct me if you disagree, but Leonard Williams going to the Seahawks that's a real move. That is a real move there for Seattle, who's already very good.
Good news for Eagles fans and good news for Seattle. Woo!
Well, yeah, but the problem is you do have to play Seattle later in the year.
I understand that, but at least it's not with the Giants anymore. But
That's
you're
true.
right. You know, you play the Giants twice. You only play Seattle once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put him on that D-line now, my goodness. They're already identified. We're going after San Francisco for this division title.
Yes, that
is a huge pickup for Seattle.
Massive deal. So we know last week the Eagles traded for Kevin Byard. We know the week before they signed Julio Jones. So they've made moves in consecutive weeks. So the question is there another one coming? Derek just talked to some of his sources. If you're just hopping on with us, who said, yeah, they're making calls, they're doing things. Doesn't mean anything's definitely going to happen, but they are doing things. They're active over there at the NovaCare complex. No surprise there. All right, let me throw this name at you, Derek, because this one popped up yesterday, and this is a classic case of a team going nowhere. But Jalen Johnson and his representation have reached out to the Bears. He wants out of Chicago. He wants to get traded. They've given him permission to seek a trade. He's 24 years old. He's in his fourth year out of Utah. Mm-hmm. He's a very good corner, and he has 2 interceptions already this season in 2023. He's a guy who's going to get paid very well at the end of the season, but this is one that's going to take, you have to get something up to get this one. He's a good player. What do you think?
And if the Eagles somehow, some way are his landing spot, that tells me that Darius Slay probably not coming back after this season. We're starting to see little kinks in the armor in Mr. Slay. And he's nicked up a little bit more, but that Father Time, what is he, 33 now?
Yeah.
So Father Time is undefeated and is catching up with him. But if you add this young man to this arsenal, in Bradbury's 30, you have Bradbury on a new contract, so you'll have him for at least one more year. That's a good move, not just for the present, but looking forward. He will come in here this year. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to be that starting corner. You have that depth that you need at that position that has more experience than the rookies, the promising rookies that you have.
Right.
And on top of that, the rookies are still going to get their reps, which enhances their value to this team in 2024. Arm that with the multitudes of picks that they already have, plus the compensatory picks. This team is in a good spot for years to come. You talk about a gold mine of possibilities. This Eagles team, and with the nucleus that they still have in the fold, now eventually, yes, you're going to have to replace Kelsey, Lane Johnson. I get it. Lane said he wants to play 2 more years beyond this year.
Yep.
Who knows? I mean, you could pick up the future Brandon Graham with all these draft picks. Brandon's 35 now. He knows his days are numbered. So it's and the way they've drafted D linemen in recent years, I feel pretty good about the direction they would go in terms of replacing the likes of Brandon Graham, of Jason Kelsey. You already have Kelsey's replacement in the fold, who's playing right guard when he's healthy.
Who is eligible to come off? He can practice this week, by the way.
And speaking of which, the latest I've heard on him is he's eligible to play this week. There's a probability they may hold him out until next week, though.
Oh, that would buy him another week because they have the bye week. Yeah,
they have the bye week. So there's a possibility they might hold him out until just to give him extra time to get healthy. And even without him, this offensive line is still good enough, as we've seen, to get the job done. So.
All right, interesting. And you reached out to some of your sources with Jalen Carter yesterday, and it was good news. He's making some progress with the back, and there's a chance that he could play this week.
Yes, there's a chance with, and as I said, he was sore Monday, but every player is sore on Monday. But all of a sudden, miraculous modern technology and medicine, they're deemed good enough to go by Friday. So obviously, starting tomorrow, we have to see what his practice availability is. Is it full participant, limited, not practicing at all? Obviously Friday is the big day in terms of determining whether or not a player is available for a Sunday game. So,
all right, where does your priority lie in terms of trying to add to a position? Are you one that absolutely looks at the corner spot, whether it's a slot corner or whatever? Do you think they need a running back, linebacker? I don't know. Where would your priorities lie here?
Well, they could always use another running back, especially if I don't think it's going to happen, demote Gainwell, but they need help on the back end. They can't keep giving up chunks of real estate like this on the back end. If Roby gets healthy, that's going to help. They made a nice move with the safety from Tennessee,
right?
But they need some more help. They need some more help on the back end of this defense, because the linebackers can't cover. Linebackers are good against the run, good at getting pressure on a quarterback, but they cannot defend in the pass. Nakobe Dean had a horrible game this past Sunday defending. So they need some pass defenders on that defense. Offensively, they can get by with the running backs they have, whether we like Gainwell or not. We know Swift is the feature guy. They need to up Boston Scott's touches. This is the point of the season where you start integrating Boston Scott. And I'm still so curious to see what they plan on doing with Penny. The fact that they're just keeping this guy is mind-boggling to me, but not giving him any touches. He has one carry the entire season. So I want to see what they're going to do with him. Now, like I said, supposedly he's an insurance policy for November, December, and into early January. Okay, we'll see. And obviously it's going to be based on if somebody gets hurt as well, whether or not you elevate him. Is he the answer? Obviously not, but the fact that the Eagles have put him on the shelf, you're always looking at a running back, but I think if you can get more defensive help, I think you're in a good spot there first and foremost.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong either spot. If you can certainly get somebody the caliber of Jalen Johnson, that's a big time move. But
absolutely,
if you went out and got a running back, and for people who may not know, Leonard Fournette's off the market, picked up by Buffalo. But if you can go out there and get a running back, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But you're right. I mean, if you're asking me, biggest priority right now, it's defending the pass. I don't love the trend of the running game lately, which has been diminishing, but I think that's a lesser evil than the passing game and trying to improve the defensive passing game.
Absolutely.
I think you make a case for both. I do. I really do. I mean, I don't know. Do you think they prioritize linebacker enough to make a move for a linebacker?
No,
I don't either.
No, you have three healthy linebackers. And I think unless a linebacker goes down with a significant injury, no, I don't. I mean, let's face it, this team has never prioritized the linebacking spot. If they did, they would have kept TJ Edwards here.
Yeah.
Because even if you look at the money TJ Edwards got, Eagles could have matched that if they wanted to. But obviously they didn't feel, as well as he played last year, they didn't feel strong enough about keeping him.
Yep.
They put all of their resources elsewhere. So no. Never say never with Howie, but I don't see them getting additional linebacking help yet. The only linebacking help they might get is on the practice squad. That's it.
Yeah, because one of the names that's floated out there is Jordan Hicks. Who we know has always been a good player. He just couldn't stay healthy when he was here, and that's the shame of it. But he's in Minnesota now. Especially with the Cousins injury, it kind of looks like it's not headed anywhere for them. And they're
the word is not Minnesota. They're trying to cut a deal with New Orleans to get Jameis Winston, but I don't think Jameis Winston is the answer to turn that team's fortunes around. Mm-hmm. But he is a proven vet. But so I think right now, if what we're hearing is true about them trying to get a veteran quarterback in there somehow, that Minnesota still feels that if we get what we want in terms of a quarterback, we still can make some waves in terms of getting to the playoffs somehow when you consider how average much of the NFC is, So who knows? Jordan Hicks has played so well. He played well in Arizona. He's played well for Minnesota. How much are the Eagles willing to give up to get him back here? I don't see them giving up a lot of capital to get a Jordan Hicks back here. It's not what they do in terms of linebackers.
All right, we do have a deal. Ian Rappaport, rap sheet from the NFL Network. It looks like Chase Young Hold on. Sorry. Montez Sweat goes to Chicago in exchange for a second rounder.
If I'm Montez Sweat, I might consider retiring. You sending me where? To Chicago? Oh, heck no. I quit. I quit. I'm playing Chicago. I quit.
Yeah. Boy, man. You know, we were talking about Byard. Byard went from like a mediocre Tennessee team to the Eagles one day and was like, wow, I'm on a 6-1 team. And here we go.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of that feeling. Not that this Washington's going anywhere either, but
he's going from a bad team to the cesspool of the NFL right now. I'm like, your coach is on a hot seat. He may not last the season.
Oh, he's gone. Eberflus is gone after this year.
Montez might get there tomorrow, and Eberflus could be gone Thursday. You never know. That's how bad they are. I mean, seriously. Are you kidding? Well, but I tell you what, though, second round pick for Washington as they try to move in a new direction. That's a great pick for them.
Yeah. Actually, what they're doing is smart. They're going to start that. You're going to see. I think you might see a couple more Washington moves. They're just going to set themselves up here. You know?
I do too, and probably set themselves up for a new head coach. Yeah, it's official now. The Commanders trade Montez to the Bears. Montez is like, come on, man, this ain't funny. I know it's Halloween, but this ain't funny, man. Come on, man.
No, it's more of a trick than a treat.
I'm telling you, man. Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna send me.
You know what? There could be other guys that are going to be in Montez's boat by 4:00 today.
I know, but man, dude, you realize Chicago's probably next. Well, Minnesota has the Dome, but in terms of outdoor stadiums, man, go to Green Bay or Chicago, and you got to play at -15, -20. Hey, man, this ain't funny, man. Come on, man.
Well,
I'm calling my agent right now. Hey, dude, how much is my investments worth right now?
Yeah.
Can I cash in some of those investments that'll hold me over till next season?
Jeez. Oh my God. Well, I mean, so Adam Schefter puts out an interesting tweet. So the Commanders have heavily invested in their D line. Jonathan Allen, 4 years, $72 million. Deron Payne, 4 years, $90 million. Chase Young is up, right? He's in the final year of his deal. Something had to give, somewhere. So not a shocker. And they're going nowhere fast.
I feel for you, Montez. I feel for you, brother.
Yeah, man. He's gone. He is gone. But that'll be interesting to see if the Eagles do anything between now and the trade deadline. I feel like they will. I feel like something's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a big thing, but something's going down.
Howie can't sit still, man. Howie has to maneuver somehow. He just can't stand pat with what he has.
Yeah.
And he knows they need help in pass coverage. That's why they went out and got Byard. He knew that early on. That's why he went out and got Roby. Well, he got Roby because Avonte Maddox went down.
Got hurt, right.
But he understands that. He understands they need help in that area. I mean, you still have Kansas City, Buffalo, Seattle coming up. Those teams want to air it out. So you got to do something to defend against these teams. You did a great job in terms of defending against Miami. I'll give you that. But he understands you can't stand pat with what you have.
Yeah, it's just, it's far too inconsistent. We see them. It looked like they were kind of getting on the right path the previous 2 weeks against the Jets and the Dolphins. Now, the Jets, it's the Jets, not a good offense. But then all of a sudden you revert it right back to form last week against Washington. And that's the frustrating part. And, now you're playing a bunch of good teams, and it just plain and simple. You got a run here of big time teams going forward. All right, Derek. So looking at the good and the bad, and we'll get into the Cowboys next segment, but looking at the good and the bad here with this Eagles team, certainly first and foremost, 7-1, and you could kind of just drop the mic after that in terms of good and bad, but you're 7-1, which is huge. They're the only one-loss team still left in football right now.
Yep.
They're averaging 28 points per game, which is good for third. That's 0.1 off the Cowboys, who are second. So they're right there in terms of scoring points. The only team, obviously, is Miami, who score more per game. They're seventh in passing, 255.1 per game. Pretty good. Now, running, they were, I think, two. They were two behind Miami. They've fallen now to seventh at 132.3. So the running game is still good, but we know it's trending probably not in a great direction. They're the best team in the league defending the run. They only give up 65.5 yards per game on the ground. Phenomenal. They're 6th in sacks. Very good. They're all good. Then you go, Hurts passing of late the passing game of late has been very good. AJ Brown has been spectacular MVP caliber. Hassan Reddick has 6.5 sacks. Josh Sweat has 5.5 sacks. I'll give you 2 other things. They're first in third down efficiency as an offense.
Yep.
Number 1 in the league. And they're first in time of possession, which is good. I think can really pay them dividends when you're playing some of these excellent offenses, keep them off the field.
Yes.
So they're all good. So it's not, nitpicking to say that there's a ton of good stuff. There's obviously, and I'll get to the bad, but what do you hear all that stuff? That's a lot of good stuff right there from this team.
They can control the clock. They can stress any defense out there. They have incredible pass catchers, incredible offensive line, great running back. They have everything you need to be successful. They just line up and tell you, beat us if you can, stop us if you can. And the majority of time, an opponent cannot. They can slow down the game to keep the opposition's offense off the field, or they can speed it up and score in a hurry. As long as they're scoring from outside the 20, they're fine. Once you get inside the 20, you become an asset to the enemy instead of an asset to yourself.
Right.
They have everything you need. They're right where they need to be. And again, this offense has not been as meticulous as we want it to be. The turnover volume has been shocking in a lot of ways, and yet they've won 7 out of 8. Okay. Not much to complain about that. Do you want to see it better, more fluid? Yes. But if you're still racking up the wins, I don't care how you get the win. I don't care if it's a fumble Rooski. I don't care if it's a last-second field goal that ricochets off the upright. As long as you get that W, I don't care at this point. I think this team is what it is going to be, and it's good enough to win the majority of their games and to win the NFC East. Obviously, Dallas wants to have something to say about that. But at the very worst, this team is good enough as we look at it right now to be a number 2 seed at the very worst in the NFC.
Yep. All right. So that's the good. Let's run through things that need to improve. Okay. First and foremost, the passing defense. They're giving up 247.5 in the air. That's 26th in the league. Okay. That ain't going to cut it, or else you're making your life really hard on the offense because they're going to have to be awesome every week.
True.
Third down efficiency defensively, while they're good offensively on third down, they're bad defensively, Derek. They're 25th.
Not surprised.
Yeah, which that ties into the inability to stop the pass. The running game, as we mentioned, 3 straight games now that they haven't rushed for 100 yards. That's the first time in 7 years that's happened. Jalen Hurts has 11 turnovers this year, which is more than he had all of last year. And here's something else that we didn't get into too much yesterday. Why in God's name is Kenny Gainwell responding to tweets at halftime of the game on Sunday? First of all, I thought that was an NFL violation.
That's what I thought. But I asked people, that were there, and they told me, well, even Nick Sirianni said at the podium, and a couple of people confirmed to me that, you know what? We talked to him. He's a good kid. We talked to him, and he knows he made a mistake. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be focused on the second half of a game, and he's jaw-jacking somebody on Instagram. So they talked to him, didn't yell at him, didn't come down on him. They just said, dude, you can't do this. Okay. Now, he got caught. You realize how many players look at their phones at halftimes in games?
Yeah, I know.
Today's players, man.
I guess it's exasperated by the fact that he fumbles. He's not playing well in particular. It's like, dude, you know what? How about you worry about securing the ball in your game plan? And I'm sure he is a good guy. I don't doubt that. But it's a very bad look. And the other, you're always going to hear noise, man. You can't respond because you can't win.
No,
they're going to keep coming at you. In fact, it's going to have them coming at you even harder if you respond to it rather than ignore it.
No, man. Dude, look at the breed of athlete we talk about today's game. The stuff they continuously do off the field, the antics on the field. That's today's mindset of these young players in the NFL today. That's why so many of the older players say, man, I can't coach these kids nowadays. I would lose my mind trying to coach these kids nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true, man. It's a different breed. You got to coddle them differently than you did back in the day, man. It's just, since the advent of social media and cell phones, think about what didn't the iPhone come out like 2010, something like that? Something 2009, 2000, was it something like that?
I guess maybe before that. I don't
know. Think about us, Rob. Everywhere we go, we're looking at our cell phone.
We're tethered to it, man. It's constantly,
and especially us in this business.
Yep.
Anytime I can get a notification, I get hundreds of notifications on things going on. I don't care where you are, dude. You're looking at your phone. It becomes a point now. I got to have my phone with me more so than if I left a credit card at home or something like that. A debit card.
know.
You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is it's not even so much like I'm not worried that, oh my God, did so-and-so go out to eat somewhere? No, I'm worried that I'm going to miss a big trade. I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to keep up, with something that's happening in our world that we have to be locked in on all the time.
Right.
Even like I don't text and drive. I don't look at my phone when I'm driving, whatever. I had a 45-minute ride today. I get out of my I get out of my car and I'm immediately like, all right, what happened? And it sucks, frankly, but it's just the way of the world now.
And athletes are the same, and not just football, it's other sports as well.
Yeah.
The only place it really doesn't happen is baseball, because you're constantly on the field for the duration of a game. But basketball in the NFL, dude, it happens all the time. You just got caught. It shouldn't happen, but it does.
Yeah.
But you have to, and I'm sure Sirianni set a standard, but Gainwell got caught up in it for a moment. Calling some guy little boy. What was the comment? We saw the screenshot. Hold on to the effing ball, you bum, or something like that.
Well, here's the thing. In fairness to him, like we've all probably responded to a troll or a knucklehead from time to time.
Yes. Heck yes.
And then once you start having it back and forth, you're like, why did I go down this rabbit hole? Like, why? I should have just ignored this. So easier. I get it. It's easier said than done, Because
they get you to respond to them, and then other people jump in that have no allegiance to one way or the other, but they just have to jump in, and you're like, see, this is my fault. I should not have let this happen. This is my fault. I can't blame anybody else. Had I said nothing, it just goes away in a matter of a few minutes. But no, I had to put a little bit more kerosene on the fire and keep this thing going. They either jump on your side or they jump on the opposition side. Mm-hmm. 8 times out of 10, they'll jump on the opposition side. So, so what?
Yeah.
So what? You got to have thick skin. But, I thought it was funny when it came out that he's on the phone jaw-jacking with somebody.
Well, it becomes nothing if he's playing well, too. Frankly, I mean, honestly, it becomes nothing. If he doesn't fumble there or has a 25-yard run, or it's like, all right, whatever, who cares? It doesn't matter. We know how this works. It's that's what it really, amounts to here. All right, let's step aside. Let's come back. Let's dig into the Cowboys a little bit. We'll look at their wins, their losses. We'll look at some numbers that you need to be aware of, some injuries, who's playing well, who can be susceptible here to them maybe having some success against. We'll do all that when we come back. A little later, we will mix in some Halloween stuff, some scary athletes from over the years. We will do that as well. Don't go anywhere. That's Derek. I'm Rob. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I want to tell you right now about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because knowing who to trust with your finances, it's scary. It's also difficult to discern, to weed out the wrong people and find the right person. I'm here to make your life a little bit easier. I found Jim Murray a few years ago in Principal Financial Group, and it was the best thing that I ever did. Whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, you might have a small business. You're trying to get your employee benefits off the ground. That's another resource that Jim can help you with. Personally, I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers with Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. You will be too. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 996-4751. You could also email him, Murray, MURRAY, .jim@principal.com. That's Murray.jim@principal.